One thing about them shadows, you no longer associate yourself with because it ain't in you. And if you ain't got that shit in you, because you got it from around you, you ain't got nothing to worry about, is that they don't like when you master their mind and move on. You hear me? They don't like when you master your mind and move on. Those who have an ear to hear, I hope you hear. You hear me? Stillness, abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness to the cosmic consciousness, family and soul tribe. New subscribes, you hear me? Salute to the peekaboos and passerbys, you hear me? Cause if it ain't talking for you, it's talking to you. You heard? And I woke up in battle mode. You know, actually I was up a few times during the night, but I woke up in battle mode. Because when people overestimate themselves, they'll underestimate you, not knowing what you know or what you've been through to know it. You hear me? And I'm talking about in the spiritual realm of things, in the spiritual community of things, because it be a lot of people out here trying people that if they knew better, you see, they'll do better and not try to come in nobody, you know, energetic field or while awake or sleeping, playing around. You hear me? Especially not me. But I woke up in battle mode, you know, because whoever, I don't know who it was or whoever it was or how many it was, you know, people be trying to, you know, invite themselves into your energetic field, you know, uninvited. You hear me? And my son burns shit up. You hear me? and I say that to say, because I'm just as aware as aware I am when I'm awake. I'm 100 times aware when I'm at rest. You see, and if you know by the discipline and the work that you don't put in on yourself, on your spiritual journey, if you have one, because everybody come by here ain't on their spiritual journey. You hear me? And just like everybody who come by here ain't coming in love and light. You hear me? I know that. I see through everything. You know, but it don't mean nothing. If it don't mean nothing to you, it ain't gonna mean nothing to you until I have to show you. If you try to come in my energetic field, you hear me? But those who got an ear to hear, I hope you hear. You hear me? But I woke up in battle mode because, you know, people be playing. You know, people be playing. That's why I forged my own path and I don't associate myself with a particular religion or form of spirituality. You feel me? I use them all. I use everything. you see, because that's the type of imprint that I got to be able to do it. And I say that because I don't care whether you Christian, I don't care whether you in the Orishas, I don't care whether you a Buddhist, I don't care whether you a Muslim, I don't care what religion people participate in. You know, you have people that's participating in those religions or forms of spirituality, you see, that use the same things that's associated with it, you see, against you, or to do something to you, or to send something to you. Those who have ears to hear, I hope you hear. You hear me? So I take honor in being me. I use it all, and I forge my own path. You know, if I could put a name to this outside of cosmic consciousness, you know, it's just the way. It might not be your way, you know, or work for you. You see, but my way worked for me. Those who have an ear to hear, I hope you hear. You hear me? Because it's a lot going on, and I hope everybody had a happy full moon, a pleasant full moon, an abundant full moon in Leo. You hear me? You know. Yeah. if where they want me to go, I was just to share, you know, before I take off however I'm led. I was doing my meditative workout, you know, meditation while working out. You hear me? And I was having a conversation with my higher self, you know, my spirit guides and my ancestors, so forth and so on. You hear me? In regards to how I was feeling and how I should approach it by way of expression. And they only spoke one time, and all they said was, they gonna love you or not, regardless of what you do. So be you, how you be you. You hear me? And just keep telling them what they need to hear and not want to hear. You see? So here I am. You heard? See, if you tell a lie about me, I'm gonna tell the truth about you. You see? Because that's the law. You see? That's the law. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. That's the law. Because I ain't lying to myself. So I don't have no need to lie about you. You see? Or try to assassinate, your character through some false narratives. You see? And the more I tap into that, the more I understand why my ancestors chose me. I don't know what family y'all come from or who associated with it. For you to know what you need to know in the work that it would be wise to do while you here, in reference not only for yourself, but for the line that you came through. See, because I'm not doing this just for me, and that includes you. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. But yeah, it's how it's moving through me. If you tell a lie about me, I'm gonna tell the truth about you, not to hurt you, but just because that's the law. That's the law that I live by. And the brutal honesty of myself. That's why I encourage us to be brutally honest with ourselves, because when we're brutally honest with ourselves, we'll see what we be thinking a lot of times being projected at us really coming from, because in a lot of cases, it's coming from in us. You heard? And if you're doing the work, you resonate exactly with what I'm saying. You hear me? See, nobody ever did it like I came back to do it. You see? But you must decide how you gonna do it for yourself. You see? You must decide how you gonna get it done. You hear me? In you. Because it can't be on you. You just can't put this shit on and give yourself rank that you don't possess if you can't demonstrate it in the field. And that's why so many regurgitators compared to those who actually get it in and able to demonstrate it, outside of anything we may use a pickup to get it done. You hear me? You got to be connected to yourself like that. You hear me? You got to be, if you like that, be connected to yourself like that. You heard? Because this ain't about appearance. You heard? And I say that because when it comes to demons, when it comes to siphons, when it comes to monitoring spirits, when it comes to energetic parasites, and all those things, plus a whole bunch of more, plus the whole legion. You hear me? All cause, it's all kind of beings hitting. It's all kind of beings hitting in clothes of flesh. You see, not just the gods and the goddesses. And salute to the gods and the goddesses. You hear me? Of love and light. You heard? And I say that because ain't no fun. We don't heard it before. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And sometimes and sometimes it may be a sword of truth, but ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. You heard? Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And I don't know if I know YouTube censor for certain things, but I gotta be me how I be me, because that's what they told me to do. You heard? But ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, and I always had it, but I ain't always used it when I could have. And I ain't always used it according to the ability that I have to use it. You hear me? But my words, they could cut deep. You see, they could cut deep, and they could also heal. You hear me? Just depending on what side of what you hear that you on, because of according to what's going on in you. You see, it ain't got nothing to do with me. You see, outside of what it's got to do with me, as far as me being the presenter and observer, because I'm from the outside looking in. All this shit just a snow globe to me. You hear me? And when you get there, you'll know what it means when I say don't get nothing on you. You see, but I always had it but I ain't always used it according to my ability to do so. Or in some cases, you know, when I should have, you heard? But ain't no cloaking. Ain't no cloaking. Ain't no more cloaking to who that apply to. But ain't no cloaking, you know, in my energy in any way, shape, or form. You hear me? This is real. You see? So I said that to say they can't blame us when we ain't around no more. They can't blame us when we ain't talking to them no more. You see? None of that. So forth and so on. You see? They can't blame us when our life has changed and theirs hasn't. But we gave them all the tools. We dropped all the jewels. We shared all the wisdom for them to be able to do it. You see? And whoever it didn't mean something to, it's costing them something now. It's costing them something now because karma is real, y'all. Don't get it twisted. You know, now, since we ain't around no more and we ain't to blame, where it applied, those beings got to do the work for themselves. You see, some of them in envy, some of them in resentment, some of them in bitterness, and some of them going to take all that shit to the grave with them, you hear me? But I'm going to take love with me, you heard? But, yeah, now they got to do their own work. And once again, it's an honor for me to be the example, you hear me? And other than that, why you here? Because I know why I'm here. You see, so I'm going to be the example. But speaking of that, why are you here? Have you come to that conclusion in yourself? Because I already answered it for me, see? It was only one choice that I had to make, you see? And that's the choice that I agreed before I came here according to the contract. You see, that I energetically signed, that I spiritually signed. If you don't got ears, if you got ears to hear, I hope you hear. You hear me? But I encourage us, work with the shadow of your being, man. You know, if you want to release the karma and heal your lineage, and as you raise up, they're able to raise up according to the work that you did. You see, work with your shadow, work with your trauma, work with your pains. You hear me? Work with that toxicity. You hear me? That's how you heal the karma. You know, that's how you heal your lineage. You heard? That's how you raise the bloodline. You see, and connect the disconnected strands of the DNA. You know, to bring the things online that you came here with, but probably just ain't tapped into them because you might still be offline. Are we listening? You hear me? I say that because I ain't learn how to create sacred space. But I say that because this is some evolutionary shit going on. You know, this is some evolutionary shit going on in a revolutionary way. And they said the revolution wouldn't be televised, but yes, it is. And it's going to depend on how you see, whether you see it or not. You see, Kendrick was an example in what he did, you know, according to the Super Bowl show that he was allowed to have. You hear me? And what needed to be done on a higher level and expressed on a higher level, you know, no slack to Lil Wayne, but nobody else couldn't have did it. You see, that was meant for who it was meant for, regardless of where it took place at. You hear me? I just see behind the veil of things. They're able to see it how I'm saying it. You hear me? But this is some evolutionary shit going on. You heard? And I'm a pioneer of it. I'm a pioneer of it. You know, not only for myself, but for my bloodline. And the first to do it, cause I ain't never heard or seen it before me, and I ain't never heard or seen it since I've been here. Other than how I'm presenting it. You hear me? And who else gonna show them how it should be done? But that's a question I answered in myself. See, that's the same question you're gonna have to answer in yourself. Who else gonna show them how it should be done? If you're not in my family tree, you know, how else you gonna show them how it should be done according to yours? Because I'm the first to do it. You see, in my family tree, I don't know what happened before me. You see, but I know what I seen according to those that happened for me to be here and what's happening. You hear me? For me to be able to see what I can do while I'm here, not just for me. You see, that includes you. You know, if you got ears to hear, I hope you listening. You hear me? But who else gonna show them how it should be done if not you? Truth hurt, but it also healed. You hear me? Who else gonna show them how it should be done if not you? I'll wait while I take a sip. Now ask yourself, why are you here? And what are you here for? You hear me? Why are you here? And what are you here for? You see? And why are you here? For the love of power or the power of love? Are you here for the love of power or the power of love? Because it's a difference, vibrationally and all. You hear me? And I say that because we can't get whole. We can't get whole until we get healed. You hear me? So why are you here? Why are you here? You see? You ever challenge yourself? And how? How do you define yourself? And why? See, if we're not challenging what we are, the challenge what we is, what will you be? So are we challenging ourselves? You hear me? See, if we ain't challenging what's been, are we challenging ourselves? If we ain't challenging what is, are we challenging ourselves? And if we ain't challenging what was, are we challenging ourselves? How else you gonna know what it's gonna be for you? Cause you gotta know what you don't want before you know what you do. You see, and we learn that from all the things that we thought we wanted until it showed us something different, and the reason why we didn't want it. You see, that's why you can't become your thoughts. Cause you not them. You see, you don't listen, you gonna miss it. You heard? How are we challenging ourselves? How we challenge ourselves based off what been? Cause sheep just follow. Cause sheep just follow wherever they led to go, according to the pastor that they got to work with, you see, and the shepherd that's guiding them. Now every shepherd ain't a good shepherd. Every shepherd ain't a shepherd of light, and every shepherd ain't a shepherd of just darkness. And some shepherds, you know how to work them both. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. But it's important that you do if you hear. You hear me? Sheep follow wherever they led to go according to the pasture, the perimeter that they got to work with. You hear me? And that's why it's so easy to just do what everybody else doing. That's why it's so easy to look like what everybody else looking like. You see? That's why it's so easy to say what everybody else saying, you know, because it sound like the thing to say, because it sound like the cool thing to say. You hear me? And act like everybody else acting like, because it seems like the way to portray ourselves. You hear me? But where have all the authentic souls gone? Where we at? I ain't the only one. You hear me? And salute to those that are some of the ones. You hear me? Because I ain't the only one. You heard? But how do you use use your power to be true to you? How do you use your power to be authentically you? Because I use everything I got to be authentically me. You see, we here to make ourselves known in a way that we ain't never been known before. We here to make ourselves known from a place that we ain't never been known before. We here to make ourselves known from a space that we ain't never been known before. You see? And if that resonate with you, they'll never underestimate you again when they ain't had no reason to in the first place, cause they know what it was. You hear me? Especially if you doing your shadow work. You hear me? They'll never underestimate you again. But that's gonna be on you to make sure that don't happen. Otherwise, people gonna try us. People gonna challenge us. Maybe not directly. You see? Maybe not directly. But spiritually, energetically, astrally, you see, so forth and so on, people gonna try us. You hear me? And if you up to par, you where you supposed to be with it, you see, they gonna wish they would. They gonna wish they didn't. You hear me? Burnt by the sun. You heard? But yeah, it's real out here, man. You know, I say that cause it's so easy to get misplaced or get lost in the crowd of the same and the mundane. We saw all that shit before. You see, and if we saw it before, it ain't no reason that we shouldn't be learning from it. Ain't no reason that we don't know better to be able to do better. You see, so those who ain't willing to do better, it's probably because that may be who they came here to be. Exactly what we see, exactly what we saw. You see, and that's gonna be what it is. You hear me? You know, I know some of us been hitting in plain sight because I'm not the only one. So this how I'm gonna make it known. You hear me? I know some of us been hitting in plain sight. Yet this the time to come out of hiding. This the time to come out of hiding. Somebody need to hear your story. You see? Somebody need to see your art. Somebody need to hear your music. You hear me? Whatever it is that you do, you see, that could benefit the collective. You see, somebody need that. Somebody need that. Somebody need to hear your story. Because we all in different places. You hear me? It's the time to come out of hiding. You hear me? Step up, stand out, you know, and be you how you be you. Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? Because I told y'all I woke up in battle mode, so you know many different portions of the message. It's gonna reflect that. So who am I talking to? You see, because I'm gonna take love with me. You hear me? Ain't we so easy to quote? As within, so without. You see, as above, so below. So I'm gonna take love with me. You hear me? You heard? So who am I talking to and who am I speaking for? Because if it don't resonate with you, chances are it don't apply to you. At least not right now. You see? So I encourage you, wherever you at, you see, keep going, to keep growing. Because if you ain't growing through what you going through, you know, I don't know what you doing with your life. But I'm here to encourage you to do something better than you may have been doing with it. You see, I'm here to encourage you to think something better than what you've been thinking about it. You hear me? I'm here to encourage you to speak over it a little better than you might have been speaking to it. You hear me? When it come to you. You heard? Yeah. I'm taking love with me. You hear me? I was thinking on, you know, my grandma used to say, if you lie, you will steal. If you steal, you will kill. Even if you don't take the physical life. You know, and as a child, you don't understand those, you know, the things that you do, you know, when you get older, you know. But if you get older and you could be able to tap back into that child, that inner child, and the lessons that was instilled, and so forth and so on. You see, you come to that overstanding. You get them aha moments, and you realize what it was all about. But the more I came into my own as a spiritual being and integrating all these life lessons, all these turbulent experiences, along with the great ones, and so forth and so on. The more I integrated those parts of the human being with the spiritual being, or the human experience with the spiritual being that I am, the more I understand. You hear me? The more I understood. You hear me? And the more I observed through the phases of growing up. You hear me? While growing within, if you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. And learning how not to absorb it as much, the more I overstood. The more I overstood. Do you understand? Do you comprehend? You see, I say that to say this. If people can't take your life, they'll attempt to assassinate your character. You see, now in the physical, that's called attempted murder. You see, but it'd be a lot of spiritual attempted murder trying to be committed to. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. But if you know, you know. You hear me? If people can't take your life, they'll attempt to assassinate your character. They'll try to alter your narrative. You hear me? To those who are willing to listen to that bullshit. You hear me? So it's time for us to come out the closet. You see? It's time for us to come out of hiding, in other words. I had to think about what I just said. It's time for us to come out of hiding. Cause see, somebody will hear that and run with it. You see? But it's time for us to come out of hiding, step up and stand out, as I previously said. You hear me? Tell our story. Don't give nobody else the opportunity to tell your story for you. You see? Don't give nobody no opportunity to lie on you or about you. You hear me? And if someone has, then tell the truth about them. Don't add to it or don't take from it. You see? And to be able to do that, you're gonna have to be telling the truth about yourself. You see, telling the truth within yourself. You see, and telling the truth over yourself. Those who have ears to hear, I hope you listening, because if you're not, you're gonna miss it. You heard? But people will try to assassinate your character, man. And I said that to say this. That's the devil energy. That's that devil energy. You hear me? That's that devil energy. So it's an honor to know how to work through that, to work with that, because if you've been there, you know. So it's an honor to know how to work with that and work from that and create something better of it. You see, because this that divine angelic earth angel energy. See, it's a difference. It's a difference. You heard? If you know because it was once you. You see? And you know because it may have happened to you. And when it happened to you, like it happened to me, because it was once me. See, I'm not excluded. I can't and did the very work that we all gotta come here to do. If that's what we came here to do, and everybody ain't come here to do the work. Some of us incarnated to make sure that you get the work done. See, we ain't all gods and goddesses like everybody be screaming. You see. You see, we got ciphers, we got black magicians. You see all that. We got the selfless and the selfish. You hear me? We got the selfless and the selfish. Not selfish, selfish. You know this, you're gonna miss it. But if you know, you know, because it was once you, and when it happened to you, you learned from it, you built from it, you grew from it, and you knew from it. You hear me? Otherwise, it's you that I'm talking about. That's the trigger warning, cause I ain't come with no warning label. That's the trigger warning. Ain't none of us here come with no labels, but we don't gave ourselves a whole lot of labels that we not worthy of. You see, I'm just the one to come talk about it and shine some light on it and put it under the magnifying glass. You heard? Because if you ain't growing through what you going through, what are you doing with your life? See? So we're gonna play a fill in the blank. We're gonna play the fill in the blank game. You know, I'm gonna say a phrase, and then I'm gonna leave y'all the room to fill in the blank. Cause I give myself permission to. I don't ask for it. You see. So the question, the fill in the blank phrase is, I give myself. You give yourself permission to do fill in the blank. You give yourself permission. You give yourself permission. And I repeat, you give yourself permission, because you're going to have to give yourself permission to do whatever it is that you say you want to do. So you give yourself permission to do what? You give yourself permission to have fill in the blank. You give yourself permission to do fill in the blank, and you give yourself permission to have fill in the blank. How else the void gonna get filled unless you fill it in? You hear me? Before I go, how many of us don't said the prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference? How many of us don't quoted that? I don't know too many people who haven't quoted it. You hear me? Especially in hardship, and hardship build character. But how many of us don't quoted that? You see? And I say that because it takes courage. The three significant words is courage, serenity, you see, and wisdom. See, it takes courage to tell the truth to yourself, to be the change that you want to see. You see, to step into the change that you want to see. See, it takes wisdom. It takes wisdom to accept what the truth has told you, according to the courage that it took for you to confront yourself. See, in order for you to step into the serenity that you see for yourself. And then it takes wisdom to know the difference. Serenity, courage, and wisdom. We can't step into serenity, and I might use courage 2 times where I meant to use serenity, but we can't step into serenity until we have the courage to confront ourselves, in order to be able to move with the wisdom that's going to show us the difference. Because as I said, you got to know what you don't want before you know what you do. But you don't learn what you don't want, you see, until you learn it through the things that you thought you wanted. You hear me? I said that to say, if you got the courage to change yourself, the serenity will meet you halfway. So you can use the wisdom that you have gained, you see, to show your own self the difference. You see, to show your own self the difference. You see, because one of the master teachers said, these things that I do, ye shall do also. And greater works than these shall you do, because I return to the essence. You see, and we all going to return to the essence one day, to source one day, to God one day, whatever you know it as, the Most High one day. You see, but I hope, but what are you going to carry with you? You heard? You heard? See, I'm burnt by the sun, so I burn things up as needed. You see? So, if you learn how to consume it, you won't get burnt by it. Other words, if you're doing the work, ain't nothing I say trigger you. It's an encouragement for you, but it's going to be a trigger to others. See, where it may be a motivation to some, you see, it's going to feel like something else to others. You see, but that ain't a reflection of me. That's just a reflection of y'all. You see, what are you doing when nobody watching? How will you be remembered? These are things that we better that I would encourage us. I ain't gonna say that we better or what we need, but that I would encourage us to start asking ourselves. These are the type of conversations that we need to start really having. That I would encourage us to start really having. If you're not already having them with ourselves, you hear me? Stillness, abundant love, like health and wholeness. Stillness, abundant love, like health and wholeness. Stillness and abundant love, like health and wholeness. Feel good for no reason at all. Continue to command change over your life. You see, commitment, consistency, and persistency. We're not the conversation that we used to be. And they'll never underestimate us again. You hear me? Thanks for the likes, shares, comments, questions, love offerings, donations. If you would like to donate or any, inquire according to any of my services, my information is in the description. Feel free to check it out. If you come through and you haven't subscribed and you made it to this point in the video, hit the subscribe button. You can hit the like button. It don't cost you nothing. You heard? Other than that, man, I appreciate y'all for appreciating me. You hear me? Take love with you. If you could, and if you're gonna take love with you, you gotta have it in you while you here. You heard? And so forth and so on, man. Y'all know how we do. I'm known as Sawu. Be you how you be you. Peace.